Hi, it's Dan from Awareful, and it's wonderful to have you back on week 2 of the fundamentals in mindfulness. Did you give the meditation a shot? If you did, amazing. If not, you're very welcome just to pause the video and go and give it a shot now and come back. It's only 10 minutes of your time. And do you know what? One of the most important things of this practice is repetition. Now, repetition is about building in these much more helpful habits, so that when we need to call upon a tool or a technique to build resilience, that we have these patterns that we're building in through meditation, and that's all it is. It's this brand new tool technique of systematic mind training that we're going to build in some loops that we, rather than getting distracted by thoughts, we're just going to it becomes unconscious. We come back to the body, we come back to the breath, we come back to sound, we come back to all of these things. We're going to talk about anchors today. But repetition is so important. The second most important thing I would say is how we talk to ourselves makes a difference. So in times of stress, in times of frustration, and this is some of the wonderful research that's coming out of practices in compassion, is that actually if during these difficult periods, during disruption, we talk to ourselves with kindness and warmth, that we don't put ourselves down and make the situation any harder, then our body responds to that positively as well. That actually it replicates compassion. It releases these hormones into the system that balance us out from the stress response. And again, maybe if you did the practice, you'll have heard that, as we bring our attention back to the breath, we're coming back without frustration for being distracted. We're coming back without judgment or criticism. And that actually distraction is really why you're here. So that if you're in practice and you're finding yourself getting distracted, well, success, that's what you're doing. You're trying to get better at distraction, trying to get better at managing this mind through distraction. Because again, what the science says, it's in those distracted moments that we tend to ruminate on negative thoughts. And we're just trying to soften that a little bit. So yeah, if you haven't, jump off, give that meditation a go. And remember, you don't need to be perfect at it. It doesn't need to be amazing. You don't need to have gone naught to Dalai Lama in one meditation. Remember, you're a beginner, so be a beginner. If you're trying to teach someone how to do what you do at expert level to a beginner, you wouldn't reprimand them every time they did something wrong. You would nurture them. You would actively be kind. You'd be like, well done, you've done at least these parts right. So this week in particular, we're focusing on anchors. So we have several anchors that we use as part of this practice. We have sound, breath, body, taste and smell. We also use things like mantras. Now, a mantra is just a sound or a word that we use to just bring our attention back into the now, the present moment. Not that anything else is experienced outside of it, but we bring our attention back so we're not in this feeling of being lost. My teacher, as I said last week, he called us the lost society. That we're continually losing hours and losing weeks. And these anchors just help us just to come back and experience what's going on. So mantra, literally mantra, mind device, is just a tool just like the breath, just like the body. You would have experienced in that breathing practice, the returning back to the breath being the anchor. So that when we're noticing distraction, when we're failing at the practice, which is excellent, failure is such a good thing, keep failing. As we keep coming back to the breath, we're building in this repetition so that when we're noticing, when we're away getting distracted by anything, we can have a choice. Rather than just getting lost in the distraction, we're making some conscious decisions, that we're no longer being a passenger, that we're piloting the U-plane, or whatever you want to think. Anyway, you're no longer a passenger to life. You're living it, you're experiencing it, you're existing in it, rather than from it. So, anchors are these wonderful tools, and we use things like the body, and we're going to do there's a link to a body scan practice for after today's session, which is this idea of dragging attention into the body and holding attention to different sensations on purpose. Wonderfully, that particular practice, I get feedback that people like to use that just before they go to sleep. And actually, when they bring attention in the body, it makes them feel calm and relaxed. The next thing you know, they're waking up and it's the next day. So if you want to use it as a meditation to help you to get to sleep at night, then amazing. If it just helps you to function the next day, well, then wonderful. I mean, ultimately, sleeping and meditation are two completely different things. But if you're using it to help you to get happier, I'm more than happy for that to happen. So the last thing I wanted to talk about today was this idea of the formal and informal practices. So formal is basically the mind training, the formal practice, the meditation, just sitting down, putting your headphones on. Please listen to the guidance. Don't try and do it on your own, please. Put your headphones on and just listening to the practice. Coming back to the breath, being kind, non-judgmental, no expectation, all these things, very important. And you're going to do that as often as you can. There's no requirement. You don't need to do it every single day if you don't want to, or you don't have time, or whatever it is. But start. The only time that you can begin to make a difference for your future is right now. And if it's something that you want to change, then you have to start working on it. It's something that if you're realizing that you're overthinking everything, that you're constantly distracted, then this is an important tool to help in managing that system, managing these responses. Okay, and the repetition is incredibly important. So the formal practice is meditation. So coming, sitting, taking 10 minutes out, and just listening. That's all you need to do. Listen and follow the guidance, like you would do any audiobook or any training of anything. The informal practice is life. Now I'm going to make an assumption that you're still breathing. Should we do a quick check? Yeah? Breathing? Awesome. You can breathe throughout your day. In fact, they say we have between 10 and 30,000 breaths. Lots of opportunity for practice. That any time, anywhere, you can just stop, breathe, calm, ease, whatever you'd like. Just spending a few moments, just bringing some attention. You don't need to close your eyes, but it just feels natural for me. I do apologise. But it just feels calm, ease, breathe. A couple of conscious breaths, absolutely anywhere, anytime. Okay? So, to summarise, at the start, repetition we were talking about, incredibly important. How we speak to ourselves in times of stress, incredibly important. That obviously informal and formal practices are what really make up mindfulness as a practice as a whole. And ultimately we have all these anchors around us all the time. And we're going to experience one in the body scan today. We're going to learn how to hold attention in the body on purpose and guide our attention around. We're going to become more conscious to all of these movements, all of these different sensations as well. Okay, have an amazing rest of your day. Please reach out to me if you need anything at all. If you have any questions about what's come out of this practice or out of the videos or anything, I'm here to help. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to see you again on week 3, where we're going to be exploring the thinking mind.